Welcome to a special edition of Buck What You Heard. My name is Gene. You can reach me at Buck What You Heard. You follow me, I'll follow you back. And I am joined today by a longtime listener, Eric Moreno. How you doing today, Eric?
I'm doing great, Gene.
All
How you
right.
doing?
So I know you reached out to me a few times and you asked about coming on, and like I said, I try to get the listeners on because I think that this should be a platform for everybody. So I wanted to get you on, and I know that you had some things you wanted to talk about, and I figured we kind of jump right into that and do that. But first and foremost, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you and social media or whatever.
Twitter is at Eric Moreno 45 on Twitter, so you can get me over there.
Okay, is that the only way? Is that it?
Uh, yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Eric, I know that I've been talking about this the off season. We kind of got into camp a little bit when I was when I had Evan Winter on with me here on Tuesday. But I want to get your thoughts on camp. What do you think? What are your thoughts right now?
Uh, uh, I've been watching some of the training camp on the highlights. They said Brady looks pretty accurate, more than he did like 10 years ago. So we'll see about that.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. What else? What else has been going on?
Gronk is, uh, Mike Evans looks beast. Um, Godwin is Godwin. Uh, Third receiver. I was hoping Tyler Johnson can get that spot, but he's been hurt. So maybe, he's going to be a little bit behind. Scott and Miller might be a new favorite weapon for Brady. Um, Hopefully Rojo will have a big year. Um, Front seven looks beast. Winfield is like, he can play safety, nickel, corner,
So what do you like
in
about
the
him so far that
box.
you've seen? What when you because yeah, I know you said some of these positions they look beast, but what do you like about him? What stands out to you?
I don't know. Winfield is just a natural. Um, just he can do everything.
Hmm.
Um, Gronk looks that year off that probably helped him a little bit. They're saying, oh, he's washed, but I think he's got at least a couple years left. So does Brady.
Okay. So
Um,
are you happy with what you've seen so far? I mean, as far as camp goes.
yeah, for sure.
So I mean, what is your prediction as you look down the list at some of these games? What games are you interested in, and do you think the Bucks have an opportunity to actually go to the playoffs this year?
11-5, 12-4. The Chiefs and Bucks game, Packers and Bucks. Of course the Saints. Always got to beat the Saints. The Falcons. Brady does good against the Falcons, so if they can win those games, they have a shot. 11-5 and 12-4.
Let's see. So, do you feel like this is a team that could, they can win the division? It's been a while since the Bucks have won the division, so I just kind of wanted to get your thoughts. Do you think that's something they can potentially do? Is possibly win the division?
With Brady, of course. We'll just have to see what happens.
Okay. And what is it about Brady that sticks out to you that you're excited about?
Just as poised to win. His. If a guy doesn't do something right, you'd be like, hey, you got to do this better. You got to be pinpoint. You got to just got to be 100% on top of it.
So, is that more of a coaching thing, or what would you say that's more player personnel where players need to be more involved in something like that, or where does that kind of fall when based on what you're saying? Is that more of a coaching thing, or what do you see it as?
Probably a little bit of both player, because if someone doesn't do something right, then it's coaches, and then player personnel. So hopefully Brady will get that chemistry down. I know we haven't had much of an offseason, so the Saints have an advantage, but hopefully in
You
three
think
weeks we'll
so?
be ready for the
What way
Saints.
do you? I mean, when you think about that, what do you see the Saints? What advantage do they have over the Bucks? In just your opinion, just based on what you just said.
I mean, they've been together. Sean Payton and Breeze have been together for like 10 years. Their defense is pretty good, so maybe we'll see a shootout in New Orleans in Week 1 without
Mm-hmm.
no fans, of course.
So
So that should be
who do you
interesting
think
because the
that benefits?
Saints, no one. I mean, they can probably put in the fan noise, but it's not the same. So you know,
Yeah, that's
I
very
don't.
true. I mean, when you kind of take a step back and look at the whole thing, though, sometimes crowd noise can influence a game, and we've seen that, with the Bucks a bunch of times where they've been in hostile territory, and crowd noise has affected your play calling, being able to hear the play, being able to get the play executed correctly, and again,
Yeah.
you've pretty much eliminated that and just pretty much made it one team versus the other. So, do you think that affects the home field advantage?
Uh, yeah, but they're used to it. But the Bucks, hopefully, it won't affect them too much. But the Saints, yeah, I mean, it kind of affects them, but it kind of doesn't at the same time.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
it's kind of
So
win-win.
on when you're looking at this team right now, who are you liking the most so far? If you had to go top five, who are you liking?
Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Shaq Barrett, Levante, and Devin White,
All right.
and maybe Gronk in there too.
Okay, so let me get the second five. We've eliminated those guys, and we already know those are proven commodities right there. So, are there any other players out there? Give me four other players that you're looking at and you're excited about.
Uh,
And I know,
OJ
and
Howard,
we could start with Gronk
Renfro,
because Gronk was on this second list. So we've got Gronk. Give me three more.
yeah, OJ Howard, um, Carlton Davis, and Antoine Winfield.
Okay, so you're not going to put Vita in that list.
Oh yeah. I'll put yeah. Almost forgot about Vita. Yeah.
All right. So, anything on this team that's concerning you right now? I mean, when you're going up and down the list here, when you're looking at this team, you're talking about offense, defense, and special teams. Is there anything that concerns you right now? I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel about that quarterback position?
I mean, behind
10,
Brady,
10
it's
being
kind of
10 being the
concerning.
best, 10 being the best, and one being the worst. And we take Tom Brady out of the equation, and you're looking at the quarterbacks that the Bucks have in camp right now. On a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable are you with the other quarterbacks that are in camp?
Like a 2 or 3.
Really? So, for you,
I mean,
you don't think that is a possibility that Blaine Gabbert could actually make some
yeah,
plays and actually manage the team.
maybe. I mean, we have the weapons, so maybe like a 5 or 6. But I mean, it's kind of tricky.
So, how concerned would you be? Yeah, let's say for instance Brady was held out for whatever reason. I'm not trying to put that into the universe. How would you feel about Blaine Gabbert coming in and just running the offense?
He has success with Arian, so you got one of the best offenses, so he can manage a few games if Brady has to be out a few games.
Let's see.
COVID or something like that, or
Yeah,
injury.
yeah. And
So
God forbid we don't want that. We don't want to bring that on bring that up.
no,
So
but it
on the
could
on the
happen. I mean,
how do you feel about the secondary? What are your thoughts on the secondary? I mean, you've got the majority of the guys have come back from last season. Um, You've got a year,
Mhm.
you got the defense, you got a defense, and we're kind of unique right now. You got a defense with quality players that have a year under their belt with a head coach, with a defensive coordinator. Whereas I would say over the past decade, you've had players that have come back, but you haven't had quality players that have come back on the
Mhm.
level that you have right now. So, I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, are do you have any concerns right now as far as defense goes?
Mm, I would like to see us maybe get like a veteran corner, but I think um because if Bunny and Davis or Dean go down, then you have Ryan Smith or Parnell Motley on either side or on the inside nickel position.
Hmm.
But Davis, I think, is going to be really good. Dean is. I think Dean was one of the best corners at the end of last year. Um, Bunning, I think, can be really good. They're interchangeable. They can play inside, outside. So, and then Whitehead, I think, can have a big year. Winfield can have a big year. Um, Maybe up for rookie of the year.
You think so?
Oh, there's so many. Yeah,
Okay. So when you look at the Bucks rookies, is there anybody? I mean, for you, is that the player who, or is there a player that you're looking at that could be potentially up there for that rookie of the year position?
maybe Tristan Wirfs, but he's an offensive tackle, so he's gonna have to. And with no offseason, really, that's gonna be tough.
So your expectations for Tristan Wirfs are pretty high, then I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, we needed a right tackle since Dawson left. We went to
Hmm.
the Broncos, so
So I mean, you're like me personally. My expectations are pretty low when it comes to Tristan Wirfs right now, because he's a rookie, number one, and because of the position that he's playing in, and because of some of the talent that he's going to face as a rookie. We've seen rookie offensive linemen come into Tampa, and they don't do well their first season or two. So, um, are you
yeah,
expecting? I mean, with him, even though he is a first round pick, I know there were things about him that a lot of people had concerns with, but when you look at those things versus his physical ability and couple that with actually learning and gathering the speed of the NFL, what do you think? Do you think that Wirfs is a long term solution for the Bucks offensive line?
I hope so. Yeah.
I
Um,
mean, like in your personal opinion, based on what you've seen and the videos and stuff that you've watched. I mean, how do you feel?
mm. I mean,
Not
he
sure.
jumped out of a pool. That's not easy for a 325 pound man. I mean, he's pretty athletic.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. But I mean, like, outside of that, I mean, is there anything else that you're like, man, uh, this could actually work. This is great. Do you see the
Yeah.
the offensive line as a liability, or are you comfortable with the depth that they have?
Yeah, I know we signed Joe Haig, so he can step in, if someone gets hurt or something like that. Marpez, beast. Um, Jensen is, can be a top. I think they ranked him as a top five center last year.
Oh, Jensen's a
Um,
monster, man. I think that the Bucks were very fortunate to get him. I think he's done a great job, and I think health wise, if he can stay healthy, I think he will be a huge producer for the Bucks. Um, my concern, and I've stated this, I state this all the time, is what is this team going to look like on the back end of the season? In the beginning, everybody's healthy. If, cross your fingers, you can get everybody healthy all the way through camp. And then you're looking at, and then you're looking at the beginning of the season. And, with the NFL, you are going to have injuries. But at the same time, if you can kind of if
yeah,
those injuries are limited, and then you get into the middle or the back end of the season where those games are very important, that's gonna be a game
Mhm.
changer right there. So
Yeah.
again, so and I know you've come on here before and we've talked before, and I just want to get your thoughts on what's going on, or did you have anything specific you wanted to talk to? I know you were like, hey Gene, let me jump on here with you, and I was like, okay, cool, I got you a date, and I just want to make sure we get all your thoughts out there.
Yeah. Do you think we're gonna get through a full NFL season?
Oh, absolutely.
I,
I think with the way COVID has been going within the NFL, we had some bumps in the road along the way, but I think that people are adjusting, and I think as we progress, I think that things will get better. I honestly believe that this season will happen. And then they were talking about having the bubble, and I talked with this on Evan Winter's show on Bucks Nation. uh, they talked about having this bubble, and when you think about that, that's pretty ingenious. Personally, I would have pushed the season. I would have started the season later. That way you could,
October.
yeah, I would have started the season late October even. That way you could have some kind of OTAs or some kind of camps. At least a mini camp and a couple of preseason games to get people warmed up and get a better evaluation of the talent that you have. And I think that gets lost in the translation as well, is what kind of product are we going to see come the beginning of the season? Uh, because
Hmm.
it's real easy right now on paper to say, oh man, this team is amazing. This team's going to do this. This team's going to do this. And we do know, going back through 2010, 2011, we've seen where teams either get a fast start or finish strong. And then the next season, it's like, the wheels fall off and they're starting out slow or
Hmm.
something's happening. So I think it's going to be important that the Bucks are able to get off to that fast start and continue and maintain being consistent.
Yeah. How about college football? I know some conferences canceled to
You
the
know
to
what?
the
To
fall.
be
I mean to
honest,
the spring.
yep, I would actually cancel the season. I just would, because there's just gonna be it's gonna be an
All of the college
asterisk.
football.
I would cancel all of college football because there's gonna be an asterisk, because you're talking about the Big Ten, the Big 12,
Yeah.
Pac 10, just all these different divisions, and you want to have everybody on the same page. And if there are people that are opting out or not going to do it, that that can be uh, uh, that could be effective on how you're looking at this. Because if you've got a team that wins the national championship, let's say they play the national championship in February, but you don't have all your divisions present, that's kind of a hollow championship. Or would you agree with that?
Yeah.
It's just not the
Yeah.
same. I
It's
mean,
not fair.
it,
It's not fair to the teams.
well, it's not so much
Ohio
that, it's that
State.
you genuinely haven't faced the best of the best. You've only
Yeah.
dealt with, you've only faced or been affected by just a few teams. But if you're talking about maybe the SEC, but you lose the Big Ten, Big Ten is out, and that's a huge division. That's a division that generally has somebody in the playoffs every year almost. So again, you're eliminating them. That's a problem, and to me, the only way you could really rectify that problem is to either push the season back, like I was talking about, or potentially
Yep.
there just are other options out there. I don't see a problem. I don't understand what the big deal is about just kind of pushing things back so your product is polished, your product looks good, the people that you're putting out in the field looks good, and that right there I think gets missed. Kind of going back to the NFL a little bit, they always talk about protecting the shield, but you're willing to start the season with no preseason games, no camp, no OTAs, no mini camp, no rookie camp. You're just ready to start the season. That's a recipe for failure right there. Not I won't say failure, but disaster. Because I mean,
Yeah.
I think you risk more injuries. Conditioning is going to be called into question. Being in football shape, there's just so many things, so many factors that we as football fans don't really look at that we really should be looking at. And you always hear the NFL talking about, protect the shield and all this, that, and the other. But when you're putting a subpar product on the field, that can be huge. So what do you think about?
Yeah.
I mean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I kind of agree. It'll have an asterisk to the, if you're not facing, the best competition, Big Ten. I wonder if the SEC is. I know they released a schedule, but I don't know. I mean, we're a month away from the season, so I don't know what they're gonna. I don't know
They
what they're
they
gonna
really
do.
can't, if because I heard the Big Ten is out, right?
Yeah,
Big Ten is
and the Pac-12.
and the Pac-12 and the Big Ten are out. You can't have a season realistically. I mean, if you win the national championship, let's say for instance, I'll use Florida as an example. Gators win the national championship, and they go to play the game. They win the playoffs. They win the national championship, but the Pac-12 and the Big Ten are not in it. What it's not the same. It's like you didn't play the best competition that was out there. And then there are kids that you got to worry about eligibility. There's that's affecting a lot of people because people were planning on playing the season and being available for the draft, and it's just affected people on so many different levels. So I don't know.
They're gonna give them another year of eligibility if they play or not.
Yeah,
That's what came
yeah,
out the other day. Was it today? So that's interesting.
yeah, that's true. So again, this is we're still trying to figure out what's going to happen here, and we're living in unprecedented times, so we don't know what could potentially happen here. All right, now I was just checking the chat. I know it's kind of early. This isn't my normal time, but I thought this worked out good for you because this is an opportunity for you to get back
Yeah.
on. So, anything exciting? I mean, you watching? Are you following the Rays or anything like that, or is
I
there any?
think I think a lot of injuries because you had spring training, right? And then they
Mm-hmm.
got shut down, and they only had 3 weeks. They only had 3 weeks to train. That's why you're seeing a lot of these injuries. Soft tissue.
And
It's,
that
that could
and
be
that right there,
throwing
I'm
too many
glad you said
dudes.
that because that kind of goes back to what I was talking about with the NFL, which is a lot more physical than the Major League Baseball. And that's my concern is
Yeah.
these guys don't have the full complement of time that they had last year, or for rookies, they're going to have to adjust to a schedule, a longer schedule than you would see in college football. So conditioning is going to be important. Just getting the opportunity to show what they can do, that's going to be very important as well, because some of these players, I would say a lot of these players are going to get called upon to actually play at some point in the season, because of injury or because of rotation or, just whatever. And so, it's kind of tough. You're going to see some players that adjust to the speed of the game faster than others. And so I think 2021 is when I would genuinely look at the draft picks from 2020 and get a good idea of what you have. Because I believe they need a full season of camp.
Mhm.
I believe they need the
Yeah.
OTAs. I believe they need I know they won't get the rookie camp, but preseason games. I think they need a lot of this
Yeah.
stuff just so that you get a good idea of what kind of draft picks you have. Unless they just do horrible in practice, and it's one of those things where they just kind of have to get cut. So
They
I
get
don't
chewed
know.
out by Bruce Arians.
Yeah, yeah, but I think that's important too. Like Mike Evans, I think ultimately, and this is gonna be an interesting season, this season and next season, is to see just how impactful Tom Brady really is going to be on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Um, I'm excited about it, but eventually I always go all in with the Bucks. I'm not. I try to be cautiously optimistic, but once the season gets started and I get
Yeah.
like all hyped up, man, I'm like
Mhm.
I'm all in. Hey, this is the team, man. We're gonna follow the team. Um, this season I'm a little bit more excited, and I just think like with the addition of Tom Brady, I think he's gonna make your wide receivers better. He's gonna make your tight ends better. He's going to make your running back better. Just ball placement, quick release on the ball, decision making, pre-snap reads,
Offensive
just being
line.
able to read the defense as a whole and understand what he's looking at and take advantage of what he's looking at. I think that's going to be huge. That's one of those
Mhm.
things where, um, dang, that's something that's like a luxury right now. So what do you
Mhm.
think?
Offensive line too, so they want the offensive line too, so they want maybe Donovan Smith won't have to hold his block for long, and other Alex Kappa, Wirfs, Jensen, um, and Marpet.
Yep. And I think Alex
Cooper
Kappa is going
Reese.
to, if he can stay healthy, I think he's going to have a good season as well. I haven't really got to mention his name, but just the fact that we didn't talk about him negatively a lot last year gives me hope that this guy is going to come in and quietly do his thing and, help to protect the quarterback. So I am looking forward to that.
Hmm. Yep, for sure.
All right. So, what else has been going on with you?
Mhm. Not much, just been working.
So, are you following the Lightning too? So, I know you're sort of following the Rays, but are you following the Lightning?
I love baseball. Yeah, I know we play the Bruins tomorrow night.
Yep. Yeah, and
Game one.
kind of jumping back to baseball a little bit. I'm a Tampa person, so I try to keep up with everything Tampa. I think the only thing that I'm not Tampa about is the New York Yankees, and I've been a Yankees fan for a long, long time, and I've always said this, and this is no secret. If the Rays ever move to Hillsborough County, I'm all in. I'm just all in. It's just kind of how I feel about it. Even if the ownership is horrible, I wish Stu would sell the team and they would keep the team in Tampa. That would be the best. That would be the best thing in the world if that ever happened.
Or Ybor. I know that. I wish they had. I wish the stadium went through.
Yeah, me too, man. I looked at the design on that, and they had the blueprints, and that would have been an incredible stadium. I would have.
Waterfront Stadium.
Yep, yep, exactly. So, unfortunately, you still got to go back to the trop, and, we don't know what's going to happen. Uh, COVID-19 kind of stopped Major League Baseball from, stopped this team from being in Montreal, which I was good about that because I think that's the stupidest conception ever to split your time between two teams. I don't think that should be allowed. It's not fair to season ticket holders, and it just shouldn't. It should have never been an option. Period.
I don't. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I think you would lose fans, even though there's no
but
fans in baseball right now. Hopefully on October.
yeah, but we haven't had any sports. We went months without any sports, and I think people are starting to really appreciate a lot more. Hey, we've got baseball now, we've got hockey, we've got basketball, and now we're rolling in, and we're going to have football, and you're going to have all this stuff going on, and that's something definitely to look forward to.
Hmm. For sure.
Well, all right. Well, dude, I can't believe it's almost been 30 minutes we've been sitting here talking.
Yep.
Do me a favor. Tell everybody how they can get a hold of you again. One more time.
You can get a hold of me on Twitter at Eric Moreno 45. I'm on Twitter almost every day, so just hit me up on there.
All right. Lane Johnston, what's going on, my friend? Um, Again, this is one of those things. Like I said, if you're a listener, if you're a listener to the show, hit me up on Twitter, DM me, and I'll get you on. I'll get you on. I really want to get the voices heard. And guys, I do. I've been really, really looking at this, and I pretty soon I will have live calling on here where you can actually call in and call into the show and just get on here and talk. So, um, that's one of the next missions that I'm on. I've been really researching this a lot, and I think this will make the show just even more fun. And what I plan on doing, and you guys have seen me do the hot seat. I'm gonna have people call in, and we'll do the hot seat, and kind of see what we can come up with. Uh, I'm gonna make it fun. It's gonna be a fun season. Michael Pless is coming back. I'm gonna have him like. Um, possibly twice a month. Evan Winter will be on, and he'll just continue to come on when he can. Evan Winter from Bucks Nation. So it's going to be fun. Have some very knowledgeable hosts, co-hosts on with me, and we're going to make this fun. And again, with the call-ins, getting people's thoughts, I think it's going to be even more exciting. So stay tuned. Keep checking us out. I know I've been kind of inconsistent, but it's just been the off season. I will be going back to my regular time on Wednesdays. Wednesdays 9 p.m. Eastern. So definitely look for that change as well. But did you have anything you wanted to say, Eric, before we roll out?
But Super Bowl champs 2020.
There you go, man. Go big or go home. You got to be all in. Any final
Yep.
thoughts? I normally, when you know this, you've been on here before. Special guest. Final thoughts, and then we'll roll out.
Hopefully we get through a full season and the Bucks stay healthy. Go Bucks.
Yeah. My final thoughts are again is uniting the fan base. I don't care who you like at quarterback or who you did like or who you do like. The team that we have is the team that we have right now. I think it's important for everybody to be on board with wanting this team to be successful, wanting this team to win games. It may not be set up the way you want it to be, but at the end of the day, it's all about the Bucks winning, the Bucks getting to the playoffs, and also getting to the Super Bowl. I think when you look at our division, there's only two teams in the division that have been able to successfully get to the Super Bowl and do what they needed to do, and that's been the New Orleans Saints and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Everybody else has gotten there and failed in our division. So again, I understand when people are like, oh, I'd like to win a playoff game. No, you Eric, you got the right idea, man. You want to win the Super Bowl. You don't want to just get there. You want to win it all. That's what fandom is all about. That's why these teams lace them up every year and they play so they can go
Mm-hmm.
and get that ring, win, make that journey and win the ring. So definitely something to really think about is this is a team that I believe is going to do big things just based on what they're doing right now. I think the fact that as I mentioned before, you have quality
Mm-hmm.
players and you have a team that's familiar with the they're familiar with the play calling and the coaches, and they're just ready to go. So this is
Mm-hmm.
going to be a fun season. Don't miss out on it. Win in Tampa. There you go. Will the Brewer is right, man. That would be so dope if we did that. But anyway, it's been over
And the
30
Super Bowl's
minutes.
in, and the Super Bowl's in, and the
Super
Super
Bowl's
Bowl's
in.
in Tampa this year. So
Yeah,
a
that's
team
what
has
that's what
never
Will was
a team
saying.
has never hosted their own Super Bowl.
Yeah, but that would be even better to win it all. That would be the big time. That would be the icing on the cake, so to speak. All right,
And
guys. Well,
WrestleMania
Well,
possibly
thank you
too.
so much. I appreciate everybody coming in and checking us out. Eric, thank you so much for coming on. Again, if you want to jump on with me, um,
Yes, sir.
I do. I will make room. I will make time to get you on, and definitely so you can get your voice heard. Uh, this will be up on YouTube. I will try to get this up on iTunes today if I get time, and that way everybody can check it out. But anyway, thank you, Eric, for coming on. Thank you.